Now, as demand grows for more boots on the ground, Gauteng Police Commissioner Elias Mawela has launched drone pilots. Mawela says this is part of improving police visibility and to bring down incidents of crime in the province. Let's go to our senior reporter, Aviwe Mtila, who is at this briefing to give us the latest. Aviwe, it's quite interesting that we see the Provincial Police Commissioner announcing other ways to make sure that there's police visibility while there's a protest about the exact same issue in Diepsloot.
And a protest, Maseko, of course, that happened even a year ago in that very Diepsloot where there was a heavy deployment of police. And, of course, we're seeing those crime issues continue. Here today, it was 13 drone licenses that were handed over. In fact, MEC Faith Mazibuko handing over also 6 drone themselves to monitor just on the breadth and the width of Gauteng. We do know in that very Diepsloot there is already surveillance, I understand, 2 cameras that are surveillancing there. But what is the actual mandate and how are they helping curb the heightened levels of crime? Let's find out from the Community and Safety MEC Faith Mazibuko. Mama, thank you for joining us at ENC. Let me start with that very question. You already have surveillance in Diepsloot, but we're seeing complaints and protests over crime. How are these even drones going to help with the situation that we're seeing on the ground?
The availability of these drones will make it easier for police to be able to see what is happening on the ground. Because you'll recall that there are certain areas in Diepsloot where you can't even walk. For now, it's you can't even walk straight. So it actually helps to monitor and give the information to those that are on the ground to say at a certain place there is this crime that is happening, or there is a person in distress, or this and that is actually happening. So some of these incidences happen because people allege when they are asleep. Others actually, like the late chairperson of the former CPF was actually shot whilst walking there. So there are those that will continue trying to rob people or continue to do things that are actually wrong. So no sooner we are able to zoom in on all these challenges, I'm 100% sure Diepsloot will be a normal place like all other citizens would like to live. But what is impressive is that the 2 cameras that we have already deployed there, they are CCTV cameras with face recognition. So where they are deployed, that place we have not picked up any challenges, or it was a hotspot. But nowadays, it's no longer a hotspot because they know there is an eye in the sky that is actually watching them. People are able to go about their work. They're able to do anything that they want, knowing that they are safe. There's somebody actually watching them. So those cameras are actually linked to the station. So the station is able to observe or monitor what is happening in that area.
Talking about deployment, MEC, there is 6,000 crime prevention wardens that have been deployed, we are told, in every ward in Gauteng. Yet instead of crime decreasing, we're seeing it escalate. We're seeing those Ubers that have been burning in Maponya Mall. We're seeing the shootings that are continuous at Eldorado Park. And now, of course, the crime complaints around Diepsloot. Where are they? Why isn't crime decreasing, but instead increasing?
Slowly, but surely we'll get there. For now, most of our crime prevention wardens, they are still doing what you call on-job training. So they are working under the SAPS. So the police are the ones that actually now deploy them in those specific places where they actually, where they actually require them or require their services, so that then they're able to follow instructions. Once we're able to unleash them on their own, it means they won't necessarily be depending under an SAPS officer or a Gauteng traffic officer, but they'll be able to work on their own. And already we're starting to implement the 2-shift system, whereby there are those that are going to work during the day and there are those that are actually going to be able to work at night. That way, I'm 100% sure any other person who will be walking or driving at night will be able to see them being visible in the communities. And because we're also going to roll out the panic buttons, it will be easier for you to actually press that panic button and the response will be there very quickly and very fast from either the wardens or from the SAPS or any security company that will be closer to that area where you might be when you actually push that button.
Okay, and how soon can we have them on the ground then? And what will they be equipped with? More importantly, I guess, will they be fighting fire with fire?
definitely. Ungathatha ama-chance. But they'll also be having all the tools of trade that actually are needed for them to be available there on the ground. So we're not actually compromising them or putting them in the harm's way, but we are putting everything in place so that then they are visible at night, they have their tools of trade, and they're able to assist community members as and when they need help.
And just to get it clear, as yet they're not deployed on the ground as yet. Just to be clear on the crime prevention warden.
They are deployed, but they work under the command of the SAPS. So SAPS determines where to deploy them because they are still, there has to be officers with them. So that's when they're able to deploy them in places where, as and when they need them, especially in the hotspots. So in Diepsloot also they are available. As we are going to Diepsloot now, you'll be able to see them visible on the ground, but working under the management, the command and control of the SAPS.
And we're certainly going to Diepsloot now to see for ourselves, but not the first time. Last year we were here, there in Diepsloot around this time again, where the same issues that are being presented now have escalated once more. And even the complaints that was there last year was that the year before there were similar issues and a heavy police deployment. It seems like MEC, you're not getting a grip on the issues that are faced by Diepsloot and the escalating crime there.
Challenge is that we need to decant Diepsloot. Diepsloot is congested, and where it's consistent crimes that are being reported is almost in the same areas. Where there is normality, or you're at the riverside, or people living in their own RTPs, you don't come across such problems. But where it is an informal settlement, there are slumlords in some of these areas. They are the ones that continue to create problems because as we decant people into other areas, another shack crops up. And most of these people, some of them, they're not working. So how do you expect a person to survive? Obviously, bazohamba bayokhubuluza, and the way to khubuluza is actually making our people's life very difficult. They rob them, they enter into their homes at night while they're sleeping to be able to steal their televisions and any other thing and go and sell. The second-hand dealers are also another problem, including the scrap metal dealers, because these things get sold to them. And no sooner, the minister had already started fast-tracking on that legislation to deal with second-hand goods and also of scrap metal places. No sooner that legislation has been passed by Parliament, I'm 100% sure law enforcement agencies, it will be easy to monitor all of these things and get rid of illegal scrap metal places.
But you've known these issues as you paint them out in Diepsloot for years now. Why is it still the same issues that you've known about for years?
It's a moving target. It's like Homiam Shati. Why hapa umlato, why lesa umlato, it will continue. Maras, we're working very hard in ensuring that our people in Diepsloot live safely and happily in their own homes.
All right, MEC of Community Safety in Gauteng, MEC Faith Mazibuko, as ourselves, we're heading to Diepsloot this very moment to check up on those crime prevention wardens and just how impactful they are. 6,000 of them deployed around Gauteng, one in each and every ward, we are told. But let's see how effective they are.
All right, senior reporter Aviwe Mtila live for us there. Let's leave it there for now.